Hello, y'all. This is me, Samuel Alexander, with another reading from my book, Gavin, Second in the I See Things in Blue series. This one is about the theme that I mentioned way back. It is the first one. I think I've put three in here. It's aptly called To Chocolate with Love. Yeah, no, it is not about chocolate. I've just finally landed after, rain and flight and clouds, one that is actually about the high theme. Um, and that's why it's here. It's also here, and I really had to think about that because when you're growing and maturing physically and mentally, there are things during that discovery process that will come up. And so I really had to think about whether I was going to put it here because people get really touchy about stuff like that. And I remember being a teen and I remember questioning these types of things and wanting to talk about them and feeling like you would be judged for talking about them because you're too young to be talking about those things. Um, but you did. And sometimes you were even doing those things. And so it's a very interesting word to kind of tap into because those themes are heavy, you know, in the book as well. Because as they get older, the 14-year-old isn't going to talk about the same things that the 5-year-old would talk about. And they go from 5 to 27, I think. The bulk is from 17 to 18, though. So as they're growing and their minds are changing and their relationships are changing and their bodies are changing, things arise. And in a young adult novel, yeah, you have to find interesting ways to kind of skirt in there, in that realm, so that people don't judge you and say that, ooh, this book is for teens. I get very, I can get away with all the swear words, but once I get into topic heavy situations, it takes a lot of effort to skirt around these things and still talk about them in safe ways. So that's a big part of why I still kept this in here. Um, and the other two, because they're all the same in that kind of way of how I balance things together. Um, so I'm just shooting in the dark here and hoping I don't get into shit for it. Um, we will see. I mean, we will see. So this poem that I'm about to read, obviously, it's titled To Chocolate with Love. I sit here and think of how I feel, mind's pacing, heart's racing. Or should that be the other way around? But that's how you get me, all confounded and confused and loose in speech, yet clear of mind as time travels through me while I travel through it to a place of hallucinatory acts that enact a story so complex, a love that could never be matched, a celebration of a union so beautiful and amazingly great as we partake of each other. How you feel against my lips and my fingertips. This is never a hit or miss, it's a hit. Breathe it in and back out again. Let it grow while it flows into oceans. Who knows where it's going? Will you take me? No, make me or break me. Just create me in a love only for you. The things that you make me do, the laughter you bring, the emotions you send between the oceans on a love barge of new and inventive ideas, how things suddenly appear. Life could never be better than when the two of us are together forever. We never thought we'd have each other, but now I got you and you got me. I swear I could never love no other. Mary Jane, we are lovers, you and I. Oh, I missed some words there. And it's in a block intentionally. So there are no stanzas. So it takes some effort to read it because it's supposed to flow, because it's supposed to mimic that kind of feeling that's there. And it is what it's about. you know, there is no saying, oh, it's not about that. It is about that. And since it is a subplot of his character, a minor subplot, but it comes up every now and then whenever, Dario feels the need to say something to him like, wow, you're the one out here. And the other side plot of that is that I thought this was going to be worse. I thought it was going to have more sexual undertones. But it doesn't have as many as the other two chocolate poems, which is surprising. Like, I thought it was going to be way obvious, but it definitely, it's more about a mind trip than it is about that, which is great. But that's the reason that it's here. Because if you read Gavin, it's going to arise. Like, it's not a secret. It happens, and it's going to happen on page, and they're going to talk about it. But it was one of those few things that you could drop, like having, teens smoking cigarettes in the bathroom and stuff like that. It was something that I could get in there without having to be, oh, they're going to just lose their minds that, smoking is happening. So, like I said earlier, it takes a lot of guesswork. I don't think people understand how judgy the public can be. And it took a lot of guesswork to figure out how to involve things that happen naturally as you're growing into adulthood without tripping over into, no, that's too much. We can't have them reading that. And that's how I feel about this poem. I'm still not sure. I'm definitely not sure about the other ones, but again, there's nothing in them that doesn't already exist, inside the pages. And so it's such a tough balance. But that's what I like about this one. And if I can read it well, which I did not do this particular time, it's so much fun to just kind of breeze through. But without practice, I'm definitely going to fumble something that does not have any separation. It's one big block on this page, and it's justified at that. So it doesn't even go in, it's not left aligned. It is a literal box. And it took some effort, but that's why it's here. And yeah, there really isn't much more to say about that one. So if you've made it this far, as per usual, thanks for stopping by.